I'm Bob Hoffman in Lansing. Outside Sparrow Hospital's COVID vaccination clinic, hundreds of people line up here each week to get their vaccinations. This wouldn't be possible without the many volunteers who step up and donate their time to give the vaccines. Volunteers like this week's good neighbor, Pat Munshaw.
I tell people I'm the best vaccinator in the house. Now, when I tell them that, it's between them and me, but they feel comfortable when I say that to them. We keep our vaccines.
At 81 years old, Pat Munshaw came out of retirement to volunteer to administer COVID vaccines at both Sparrow Hospital and the Ingham County Health Department.
All done.
What?
All
That's
done.
it?
I told you.
It was painless. It was perfect.
It is perfect.
Oh my God.
I tell you, the best shot giver in the house.
Since March, Pat has volunteered 3 days a week, spending her time doing what she says she has always been passionate about.
Now, when I went to nursing school, we didn't have cell phones, and we didn't take a lot of pictures of us in our uniform. But I found this picture of my capping, the end of my capping ceremony when I was a sophomore at Marquette University. There I am, right.
What year is this?
1959.
After graduating from nursing school, Pat worked as an RN for a few years at Lansing's St. Lawrence Hospital before being recruited to become a nurse instructor. She then went on to get a master's degree in healthcare administration. Pat says when she started volunteering again in March, she hadn't given a shot in a very long time.
I'm Bob Hoffman in Okemos. Twice a month, this community church turns into a food distribution center where this week's good neighbors assemble thousands of weekend survival kits that are passed out to local kids in 3 counties.
People don't realize how simple and powerful food is, and just allowing a child to not have to worry about where their food's going to come from is so important to them.
Jeff Gorsline is the founder and executive director of Weekend Survival Kits, which serves Ingham, Clinton, and Eaton counties. Gorsline says an alarming number of Mid-Michigan children deal with food insecurity, especially when they aren't in school.
When the weekend comes, one
He's a frequent customer at this Taco Bell in DeWitt. Earlier last month, he says his curiosity got the best of him, and he asked the drive-thru attendant a question. Her answer changed both of their lives.
Hi, welcome to Taco Bell. What can I get for you?
Dave Schmidt is somewhat of a regular at this Taco Bell, located on Herbison Road in DeWitt. During several of his lunch visits, he noticed a truck and a camper parked in the parking lot. So he asked the drive-thru attendant about it.
I said, what's the story with this truck and camper sitting out there? And she said, well, that's where me and my son live. And that's how I came to meet Miss Margie.
Miss Margie, otherwise known as Margie Wolf, said she's been living in the camper since July, along with her son and their 3 dogs.
He goes, okay, I didn't realize you're homeless. I said, it's hard. I've been homeless since February of this year because of the COVID, and I couldn't get my rent paid up in time for them so I could stay where I was at. So that's where I end up in the camper at.
Dave says he immediately wanted to help Margie.
I mean, you just can't help but know that you're in the right place at the right time. And I did really feel like there was a reason that I struck up that conversation and I got to know about her. And so immediately I started doing what I could to help her.
The hardest part of being homeless is not being able to cook a fresh meal for your family. It's hard not to take a bath. It's hard not to sleep in a comfortable bed or take a bath or whatever you got to do. It's hard.
I'm Bob Hoffman in Lansing. It's a heartbreak that no parent should have to go through, the loss of a child. This week's good neighbor lost her son to cancer. But it's what she did after her world came crumbling down that makes her this week's good neighbor.
People come before I can even get the bags open, and it never stops until everything is gone.
As the pandemic continues, Denise Greenhoe is on a mission to give away face masks. They aren't just average masks, they're homemade, ones she sewed herself, and they are a hit.
That is really nice of you. I know it probably takes you all day to make those. It's so beautiful, such a beautiful contribution. If everybody gave back, what a beauty.
Denise started making face masks when her son Ryan was diagnosed with cancer a few years ago. She continued while he was going through all the treatment options. But sadly, Ryan passed away in June.
The making of the mask was my only distraction, and it has also literally been the only reason I have gotten out of bed in the morning.
The League of Enchantment started with just 6 members, and in less than 5 years, they now have close to 100 members, made up of volunteers from all over mid-Michigan. The group also works with hospitals across the state.
You get a visit from somebody, your child is smiling, having fun, you're smiling and having fun. The doctor who's stressed out because he has to see X amount of kids a day is suddenly smiling and forgetting about all the pain he has to deal with. The nurses are happy. They stop us in the hallways. They want a picture. The next thing you know, you've got 8 nurses smiling and having fun. That sets the tone for the rest of your day.
Oh my gosh. It's changed my outlook on everything. It's hard to explain. I threw on the suit the first time thinking it would be fun, and now there's purpose. There's a drive. There's a what kid is going to need to meet Wonder Woman? What kid is Wonder Woman going to meet? And there's nothing like walking down a hospital wing and having a little kid scream, "It's Wonder Woman," or "It's Batman."
Members say their next goal is to expand across the country in hopes of having an even greater impact in the lives of kids just like Vincent.